Hello, Anna Di Tommaso. How are you doing?
Good, Paul Caputo. How are you?
I am doing very well. Happy holiday season to you. How was
We
your
are
day?
we are inside of the 12 days of Christmas, right? I mean,
Is that how it works? I see. I was raised Catholic, and I always thought the 12 days of Christmas started on the 25th.
okay.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
I think the 12 days of Christmas go till like January 6th.
maybe. I have no idea. That would make sense, right?
Yeah, I think that's how it goes.
Yeah.
Hey, but
Sure.
hey, maybe someone in the comments can correct us here. Um, Did we talk about Thanksgiving? It's been a while since Thanksgiving. Look, we got Pat Larson checking in already. Hi, Pat Larson. We are without Ed Rivera tonight. He was a late scratch, manager's decision. So it's just you and me here. So
Yeah.
and Pat in the comments. So chime in, say hi in the comments. Let us know that you're here. Um, yeah, this is Shane and I agree on this. It's Christmas
Okay.
plus 12. Yeah, yeah,
That
yeah.
makes sense. Otherwise, it might be the 12 days before Christmas, which is, yeah,
Which would be a hilarious movie, I'm sure.
right? I'm sure it exists. I'm sure we would not have to search too long and hard to find it.
No, and it almost definitely stars Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yes, 100%.
Eric Prophet is here. Hello, Eric Prophet. We got Eric and Shane and Patrick all here. Um,
John.
if it goes to January, that I think that is the same as Three Kings Day. I think it ends on Three Kings Day.
See, we learn something new every
Mhm.
week here on the show. So,
Yeah, yeah. All right, here you go. Zach chiming in. All right. Okay. I gotta let this cat into the unfinished storage area here, or she's gonna drive us crazy the whole night. There you go, Yodel. There you go.
Yodel
Explore.
has opinions on when the 12 days of Christmas starts.
She
So,
does. She
yeah,
does. She thinks they should just be like scattered throughout the year.
right. Yeah.
um, I am way behind right now on my podcasts, and so
Me
I've
too.
been trying to catch up. Um, I did a certain amount of driving today, and I just listened to the minor league baseball podcast, which is really fun. I really like all of the hosts of the minor league baseball podcast, and they did their draft of all of the Marvel logos, and so or they did they each picked four of them. I think each picked five, and so there are some that I might have to go check out because I didn't even know what they were talking about with them, and I just kept waiting for them to pick the Tri-Cities Dust Devils, and they never did. So
What a
yeah,
letdown.
yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, hey, look, we're both repping Nike here today. We've both got the Nike sweatshirts on.
Yeah, we need to work a partnership deal with them,
Yeah,
I guess.
they're our
Yeah.
next sponsor. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Once we set
Same
up a bank
follow.
account and we get and we get sports ball, sports ball. I have to, sports ball has been a great sponsor. We don't have a bank account set up yet, and so he keeps trying to pay us, and we keep telling him hold on. Nobody picked up the OKC Brick Circle. So I have, by the way, this is my Flying Squirrels sweatshirt here,
Nice.
and
Very
I
nice.
was telling you before we started, this is the Reading Fightin' Phils, and it was a groomsman gift for when I was in a wedding with for my friend Phil. I was one of the groomsmen, so he was the Fightin' Phils, and
I like a good fun.
we all got fitted caps. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So, on Monday, we were both a part of the EFA Average Christmas party. I
Mm-hmm.
had to duck out a little early, so I missed the back half of that conversation about
Yeah.
what the upcoming plans for travel were next year.
A lot of chatter about the Pacific Northwest. A
Mhm,
lot of
mhm.
chatter about Alaska. We did sing a song that Johnny Bolin wrote for us.
Excellent.
The 12 average holiday days of an average holiday or something like that, and it busted out all of the hits that you would expect. So, but Profit Palooza and Baseball Palooza are both going to hit the Pacific Northwest, but at different times.
Okay.
So,
So, it seems like, the Pacific Northwest will be very well, represented, or I guess our little baseball Twitter community will be very well represented
totally,
throughout the Pacific Northwest all
totally,
next year.
yeah.
So,
It
excited.
was it was really cool to see the Vancouver Canadians. I think that there's this certain allure to seeing affiliated minor league baseball north of the border,
Yeah.
and that was That was cool. What should we announce? I think that Ed had made some decisions here. I think Ed was getting ready to make some announcements. Should we give the Curved Room After Dark a sneak peek at what we're thinking for Twin City Twin
I
Billing?
think yeah, I think that's a good idea, and maybe it'll teach Ed a little lesson about just,
That's
not
right. We're
annoying, so
we're gonna steal his thunder here.
that's right.
I believe we're gonna be heading to your neck of the woods.
That's what
Um,
I've heard, yeah.
yeah, and we're gonna be. So, what are the likely teams that we'll be seeing? Do you know this yet?
I think that our 3 best options, if we're gonna stay in the DFW Metroplex, which is kind of, where our heads are at right now, are
Yeah.
obviously my Frisco Rough Riders,
Mhm.
my Cleburne Railroaders, and then,
Mhm.
of course, the Texas Rangers,
Yeah.
so
So you could do. I mean, you could make a weekend of it. You could do
but
the Twin City Twin Billing, although it's not really the Twin City. The DFW Twin Billing.
yeah,
How about the DFW Double Down?
there you go. Yeah, I like that.
uh, the DFW Double Down, where we can do Cleburne and Frisco in one day, and then maybe
Mhm.
do like the Rangers the following Sunday or something. Like do
Yeah, exactly.
three in 36 hours. So, um, yeah. So I'm excited for that. It will quadruple the number of stadiums that I have been to in Texas if we do that. Because
Okay.
the only the only ballpark I've been to in Texas is the Texas Rangers, but not the new one, the old one.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
if I hit three stadiums, if I hit, I'm trying to like check myself on saying stadiums. Apparently, I say stadiums instead of ballparks. But if I hit three ballparks in Texas, then that will quadruple my Texas list. Ooh,
Nice.
what is Patrick's head is exploding here? What's this about? You suppose the
Yeah.
DFW baseball rodeo circuit?
That's clever. I like that, yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Um, I want to know how come Pat is expressing exploding heads here.
Maybe he is in disbelief at how few ballparks you've been to here in Texas.
That could be it. That could be it.
Yeah,
I have some states. There's like 15 states where I've never been to a baseball game in that state.
really.
Yeah, yeah.
Texas is not one of them, though, so
No, I've been to one ballpark in Texas. So I got
right,
to.
yeah,
I think Zach is right about here. We got to reserve the lazy river, and
yeah.
I would like them to honor my special request since it used to be, um, since it used to be Dr. Pepper Park. I know it's not anymore. It used to be Dr. Pepper Park. I think they should fill the lazy river with Dr. Pepper. That's
That sounds sticky, yeah.
yeah, but just like get a raft and a straw and take in the ball game.
Yeah,
That's what I would like to do.
all the signage is still there, so,
I know.
they've not fully, I they might be working something out, so we'll see.
Yeah. Mark suggesting the Seguin River Monsters. Very nice. Very nice. I think I learned how to say that word from Mark's podcast. Seguin. Uh,
It's tricky.
it is. It is
Yeah,
tricky.
yeah.
It's kind of like French or Spanish maybe. Um. All right, Diet Dr. Pepper. See, and I guess the signage is up because they haven't actually like gotten a new naming sponsor yet, and so they're just like they can't afford to take the old sign down.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, I don't
yeah,
know. It's, because they 'cause they've changed it in Google Maps, which is, of course, very cheap to do,
yeah,
but
that's for
yeah,
sure.
uh, all the
Um,
DP stuff still up.
New poll question: what should the Frisco Rough Riders fill their lazy river with? uh, uh, just outside San Antonio, a small little ballpark with cheese-covered hot Cheetos.
Okay.
All right, Mark is just shouting out foods now. Now he's talking
Yeah.
about poutine. Too funny. So anyway, so I'm excited. I think that'd be fun. It'd be fun to get down there to your neck of the woods. I'm wondering if we can contact the Cleburne Railroaders guys. I mean, you and I both have sort of a working relationship with that ownership group, the same ownership group that owns the Portland Pickles. And
Mhm.
so maybe we could work out some like behind the scenes thing. We could now everyone in the comments just shout out some food items.
Pizza.
The funny thing is I had dinner and I'm still hungry. So,
Oh, that happens to me all the
yeah.
time.
So don't think for a second that I'm gonna have an ice cream helmet and watch some White Lotus.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Nice,
Yeah,
nice.
yeah. Are you watching White Lotus?
I have not started it. Maybe down the line, but we'll see.
Okay. All right. I kept hearing about it on Twitter.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
where I keep seeing
yeah.
tweets about it too, so it'll probably break me down eventually, but,
Moxie is that's the soda in the Northeast, right? That's the New England soda.
oh, I just thought that was a term for, like, je ne sais quoi, it's like
Um,
a kind of a I don't know, like an
yeah.
adjective, I guess, is the right way
Yeah.
to say that?
Or like is like a certain amount of bravado if you have Moxie.
Yeah,
But I'm
exactly,
pretty
right.
sure it's also a soda in New England.
That sounds right,
Yeah.
because with the food theme here in the comments, I'm guessing
There you go.
that's what's happening. There we go.
Official
Yeah.
soda of Maine. Yeah.
But yeah,
Uh,
I would absolutely expect that we could rent a little they've got a little, upper deck balcony
yeah.
at Cleburne where
Yeah.
we could get some frozen Jack and Coke and take in a beautiful ball game,
That sounds
and,
amazing.
it's the best. It's the best, so looking forward to that.
Now, what we want to do here is we want to get like some curved brim media cachet, though. We want to throw some weight around and see if we can't get Cleburne to maybe let us raffle off like the first, not raffle off, but like do a drawing for someone who's part of the Twin Cities Twin Billing. Sorry, the DFW Double Down.
Yeah,
Um, you know how we like to make snap judgments about what things are called and then just stick to them.
that's right, yes.
Um, But the DFW Double Down, we could see if someone who was an official participant of that do like a random drawing, and they get to do the first pitch at the Cleburne game.
Yeah, definitely.
All right.
That'd be pretty cool.
I heard, by the way, speaking of Jacob deGrom, I just heard that Noah Syndergaard signed with the Dodgers, which is
Oh.
a huge deal in 2015.
Oh, man.
Yeah, sorry.
No, that's a the hot stove talk is getting a little crazy.
Yeah,
Some
yeah,
big signings, some talk about obviously Correa's deal and,
yeah.
yeah, so
Nothing has happened with that, right? Correa
right,
has,
just in motion, I
we're
would
just waiting.
suppose, but
We're
yeah.
waiting. Kegger at Anna's place? Yeah, yeah. How many people can you put up? we're,
Um,
we're trying to get like
how
25 people,
close
right?
yeah, how close is everybody? That's the real question is like
I like this. I like this. Yeah, bring your own air mattress.
Yeah.
Probably be pretty warm, right? Do you have
Yeah,
scorpions where you live?
uh, not that I know of.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I hope not.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This
um,
is this is something that I have to, be aware of when I'm visiting Ranger Amy
right,
in Arizona is
yeah,
scorpions.
but she
So,
does have a dog that looks very similar to my 2 dogs. I noticed that on Monday. Sh her new foster looks just
her
like
new
my
foster.
2.
Is
Yeah,
that right?
yeah,
This dog is adorable
yeah,
and is
crazy, yeah.
full of beans, as they say. Have you ever heard that expression, full of beans?
No, I have not.
Uh, I have always um I've always heard that to mean like rambunctious, like full of like a lot of energy,
That
like
makes
if you're
sense,
full
like
of
jumping
beans.
beans. Yeah,
Yeah,
okay,
exactly.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. That will be a lot of guests on Baseball Bucket List podcast that week. That's right. That's right.
Yep.
So, how's this episode coming along of people who have fulfilled their bucket list items?
I've thought about it. That's about as far as I've gotten.
Okay.
I have had some contact with folks, but haven't gotten anything recorded yet, so,
Okay.
um, working on it.
All right.
Yeah.
So I have a question for you.
Mm,
If you had a friend,
that'd be nice.
yep, yep. See, okay, that was the end of my question, actually. All right, if you had a friend who was not familiar with the world of minor league baseball logos,
Mhm.
and you were trying to choose 3 minor league baseball logos, not your favorites, because I don't like that question. I don't like the
Yeah,
hyperbole,
right.
but the 3 minor league baseball logos that you feel are representative of minor league baseball logos, like 3, not necessarily iconic like the classic ones, but 3 ones that like if you see these 3 minor league baseball logos, you pretty much have a sense for what minor league logos are about.
Man, that's a tough question because there are so many to choose from, right?
Right. So many.
I mean, like, my first inclination is to say the Durham Bulls, but then if we're going not iconic,
Right. Not
because
necessarily iconic.
right, yeah, because that is kind of like those type of marks are kinda going,
Right.
they're becoming antiquated because
Right.
everybody's trying to rebrand and go bigger and bolder.
Here we can go. Let's go back and forth,
Okay,
and I'll start with one.
okay,
I would start with the El Paso Chihuahuas.
okay. Great choice, great choice.
Yeah. Thank you.
I'm I'm gonna say the Cannonballers.
Oh, very good.
Yeah,
Very
yeah.
good. Okay. I'm also going, Paul has definitely never had a favorite logo. Not that anyone knows about. And I used to make a point of whenever I was asked that question to name a different logo. I would always say a different logo. Um, all right, I'm also going to go Dan Simon. I'm going to go with the Daytona Tortugas.
Hmm, good choice, good choice. That is both, kind of iconic and on the newer side of things as
Hmm.
well,
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
think.
Yeah, it's newer than the Chihuahuas.
I feel like the homer in me wants to say the Rough Riders just because I feel like you gotta get some grimacing, bat
Yeah,
swinging
yeah,
something because
yeah.
that covers a lot of bases.
A thing swinging a thing.
Yeah.
All right, so so Rough Riders.
Yeah.
Okay. I realize I just went all 3 animals, but I think that's probably okay. I'm gonna go, Portland Sea Dogs.
Ah, that's iconic. Yes.
It's iconic, but I think
Yeah.
also representative.
Yeah, I love
So,
that.
we're just ignoring the yard goats. The yard goats, I probably could have swapped out the yard goats for the Chihuahuas.
Mhm.
I think I needed, if I was trying to, like, because I was trying to get, like, a spectrum here, right? Like, so,
Right.
I went 1 Brandiose with Chihuahuas, I went 1 Dan Simon with Tortugas, and I didn't really do this intentionally, but then I went 1 sort of classic, Guy Gilchrist did the Sea Dogs, and so I was sorta remind me what yours were? You did the Rough Riders.
Mhm. I
Did you
said the, Cannonballers,
Yeah, Dan Simon.
and I half-heartedly said the Durham Bulls there.
Okay, I think that's alright. I mean, I think, it's
Yeah.
like it's because it's not wacky, it doesn't have to be, right? Like, it
Mhm.
could just be, yeah, see, Trash Pandas, my favorite fact about the Trash Pandas is that they sold $4 million worth of gear in their first season in existence, which was 2020. They didn't play a single game, and they sold $4 million worth of gear.
Wild. Yeah.
That
Wild.
is pretty wild. Trash Panda is good. Yard Goats is good. I like your 3. I think including Durham Bulls is, uh, valid.
I think Sea Dogs and the Bulls are, like, when I think iconic, long-lasting,
Mhm.
enduring logos, it's those 2 for sure.
Yeah. I also think, for that same category, I think the Buffalo Bisons
Mm,
and, the Toledo Mud Hens.
yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Hops, Hillsboro Hops, that's another
Excellent
Dan
choice.
Simon classic. That is a definitely a good one. Um, Chattanooga Lookouts, right? Like, that was one of, like, the very first, like, actual logos that was, like, sort of a goofy logo, right? Like, the 2
Yeah.
eyeballs, named
Yep.
for Lookout Mountain, famous in the Civil War.
Oh, look at that. Huh, look at
What
that.
are you saying, "Look at that"? I was like, "Did
Yeah.
something happen behind me? Like, what's going on?" Yodel's
No.
about to, like, launch herself at my neck. Yodel
No.
Yodel is still in the unfinished storage in the basement here, so that's,
So, if okay, so Oakland is obviously soon to be gone. We have some potential expansion teams coming down the line. Do
yeah.
you foresee Major League Baseball ever making any sort of easing transition towards the goofier minor league-like names, or are they gonna stay boring?
I think they're gonna stay boring.
Mm,
I think they wanna be, like, above that fray, right? Like, they wanna be the brands that you can, like, 50 years from now, go on a podcast and cry about how you weren't there with your dad, and then make other people cry.
right.
Iron Pigs is a great call there to add
Yes,
in there.
yeah, definitely.
Um,
There's so many, that's the problem, and then, like,
yeah,
it's just you start
I know.
one and it snowballs down into all the others.
I'll tell you what, with the tin caps, Dave mentioned the tin caps. Um, that
Mhm.
I got a cap there. I got a dad hat. It was the green hat. Yeah, the green hat with the red apple on it. It, like, very quickly became one of my favorite caps. It's a very
Really?
good hat. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it, like, fits, like, just right, even by 47 brand standards. It, like, even better than, like, most 47 brand ones. Yeah, like there's something about it that
Yeah.
just fits.
Yeah.
There's Pat calling out my fighting Phils. Absolutely. Um, all right, here's a question. Everyone always talks about if Major League Baseball expands, what are the expansion cities going to be, right? Like, and we've heard like all the sort of the same cities mentioned. I mean, you hear Montreal, Nashville, San Antonio, uh, Portland, Oregon. I don't know.
Austin is thrown in there from
Yep,
time to time, right?
yep, yep. Um, what? So if Major League Baseball were to expand by two cities,
Mhm.
by two teams, you would need 8 new minor league baseball teams at different levels. So what are some towns out there that don't have any level of baseball, or maybe just have independent baseball, that should have Pat knows right where I'm going with this. What are some towns out there? What are some places out there where we should have minor league baseball, but we don't?
Fort Worth, Texas.
Fort Worth, Texas. That feels like a large city to not have any professional baseball.
Yeah, it's huge. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Okay. Okay. I feel like minor league baseball is really spread out in the Southwest, and maybe it's just because it's too hot.
Mhm.
Trenton. I have a Thunder hat. I have a Trenton Thunder hat. Savannah, Springfield, Massachusetts. I saw a map on Twitter that was someone who mapped a route through all of the Springfields in the United States. Charleston, West Virginia. Sure. And that one, I mean, the Dirty Birds, you just make the Dirty Birds affiliated.
Mhm.
You're all good.
Right.
So
Yep.
yeah, I can see that. Um, and I'm kind of feeling like you don't necessarily need to like add more teams to like Florida or the Carolinas, or places that are already baseball rich. Don't.
Yeah, I think Carolina is all set. I think they're good.
Yes. This is what Ed gets for missing the show.
Right, yeah.
Healthy scratch. Um, yeah, Fort Collins, Colorado. I think Pat Larson nailed that one. Nailed it in one.
Yeah.
Tucson. I have a
Tucson.
Tucson Padres spring training cap, which I normally would object to, because it's named for its parent club. They preceded the Chihuahuas for 2 years. It was like a temporary situation, when they moved. Oh God, where'd they move from? They were I think they were one of like a million teams that was the Portland Beavers. I could have that wrong. Pat Larson surely knows the answer to this. But before the El Paso Chihuahuas became the Chihuahuas, they played for 2 years in Tucson, and they were the Tucson Padres. And the thing is, that sounds boring, but their logo was a saguaro cactus, and that's like
I
my
love
favorite
that.
thing.
There's a Pecos League team that is the, Tucson Saguaros, and they have
Oh,
um I love their logo. It's got Tucson, and, like, the word mark is Tucson with a cactus as the T, and he's got, like, a bat. He's kinda holding the bat like this. It's
uh-huh.
pretty cool. Yeah.
Hey, look, I was right. If Mark is answering my question, then it got kicked out of Portland.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm
Yep.
right. Portland.
I like
Uh,
Shane, Pittsburgh could use a professional baseball team.
I clicked on it and then just skipped right past it. That's funny. Good job. There were one question Zach asked when
Tiki.
MLB expansion happens. Do you think they'll move into new ILB markets?
Hmm.
That's a good question. I think we're going to see major league expansion in AAA cities. I think you're going to see it in Las Vegas. I don't know. I mean, I know people have said this. I don't know if Las Vegas can support a major league team and a AAA team. I don't know. Especially since, from what I was hearing on the minor league baseball podcast, they're having trouble making inroads on in Las Vegas with that new brand, with the Aviators brand. Should have left it the 51s.
Mm.
Yeah, I know. Right.
Here's what I foresee happening. I
Okay.
think Vegas gets a MLB team,
Okay.
and I think it's the first ballpark sponsored by a sports book, and I
Mm,
think they put some sort of casino/sports betting lounge in it, and I think it's wildly successful, and, oh, yes, there's also baseball there,
yeah.
One of those
Yeah.
things.
I like this. Okay. Okay. Um, I think you're right.
Yeah.
So I think Vegas gets a team, and then, like you say, they put a team in San Antonio or something, right? Maybe Nashville. So like if Nashville gets a AAA team, and sorry, if they get a major league team, do the Sounds? What do they do with the Sounds, right? Like,
Yeah.
and what do they do with the guitar ball, the scoreboard?
Just send it straight to Cooperstown. It's fine.
That's a great
That'd
idea.
be great.
Yeah. Yeah, this is scary. There, baseball's on the ropes in Nashville. I thought these 10-year player development contracts were the end all be all here. I thought we were past this. Zach is bringing the heat here.
That's true.
That's funny. So I think likely I think what Zach suggested is probably right, that they will take minor league independent teams and promote them to affiliated teams, and then the independent leagues will be left scrambling.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Eric's right here. When the Aviators, when Major League Baseball comes to Las Vegas, that beautiful new ballpark out there in Summerlin, which is like 20 minutes away from the Strip, I think they put the ballpark right there by where the Golden Knights and the Raiders play, and they have like a whole sports complex right off the Strip. They'd be crazy not to do that. And then I just don't know what happens to that beautiful, beautiful ballpark that's 20-25 minutes outside of Las Vegas. So
it
I don't
tells
know.
you, it just is like location is the biggest thing.
Yeah.
It's the biggest thing.
There was a ballpark in Camden, New Jersey, right across the river from where the Phillies play. And it had this amazing view, like overlooking the, I think it was the Woodrow Wilson Bridge. It could have been the Ben Franklin Bridge. I'm sort of forgetting my Philadelphia bridges now. It had this unbelievable view. It was the Camden River Sharks played there. Yeah, Campbell's Field. That's right, Mark. And it's the Ben Franklin Bridge. See, here's a Mets fan schooling me on my Philly geography here. And it was gorgeous. It was this great ballpark with this amazing view with the bridge. Like, I mean, you know how these minor league parks are with the bridges out in the outfield, and they weren't allowed. It was too close to the Phillies ballpark. They weren't allowed to bring affiliated ball in. And so they had the independent Camden River Sharks there, and then eventually it just sort of floundered and went away, and they razed it to the ground. It's just gone now. It just doesn't exist there anymore. And I remember being so bummed by that. The Camden River Sharks. I've got a River Sharks T-shirt. I've got some River Sharks plastic cups.
It's a great name, River Shark.
It was a great name. Yeah, and fun logo. I went there. I went there in 1994 for the first time, right? Because I wasn't really into minor league baseball that much, right? Like, and then when the strike happened in '94, and they're still playing minor league baseball, my family and I went there, and I was like, that was awesome. That was really fun. And then that sort of was one of my very first minor league baseball experiences. Zach, it could be a Pecos League. That would be one beautiful Pecos League park.
Yeah.
So, oh, that's interesting.
Huh.
It's athletic field for Rutgers Camden. Wow, I missed a lot of comments here. I got talking. I must have been in Trenton in 1994. Nope. Didn't get to Trenton. I've never been to a game in Trenton. Can you believe that?
Wow.
As close as that is to Philadelphia. Yeah, I've not been to a game. You know what else is wild? Of the 4 New York professional or major league ballparks that I could have gone to games at, Shea Stadium for the Mets, and now
2 Yankees. City Field. Yeah.
City Field for the Mets. And then the 2, what do you call it? It's the 2 Yankee stadiums. I've only been to one. I went to the old Yankee Stadium. Haven't been to new Yankees. Haven't been to Shea or City Field for the Mets.
Wow. That's surprising to me.
It's a little bit surprising to me too. Yeah. And then Ranger Amy, as you know, is a musical enthusiast. And so we started looking at like some Broadway shows. This might be a thing, right? Like drop the Aviators all the way down to like single A, high A, I guess. Cal League is high A. that could be a possibility. That could be a possibility. Yeah, but so we were looking at we're trying to find a weekend. I tweeted about this. I was trying to find a weekend where the Mets and the Yankees were both in town, and there is not one in 2023. I didn't realize that they were so intentional about that. And then we were also going to go see a show on Broadway. So,
what show would you go see?
Well, I suggested Hamilton,
Okay.
and
She laughed at you because
and
you should have bought tickets 4 years ago?
not necessarily that, but she wants to see Wicked. So,
yeah.
Hey, don't those ballparks grant boxes to executive directors? We'll see. We'll see. I'll be like, do you know who I am? I'm the executive director of a small nonprofit association in Fort Collins, Colorado. Atlantic City. How great would it be to get the Atlantic City surf back?
Yeah, that would be pretty neat.
Yeah,
that'd be pretty neat.
Yeah, that would be a great place to have affiliated minor league baseball. So I missed my chance for that one too. They left in 2009.
I feel like any city that's on the water should just automatically get a ballpark if they can find the real estate to put it on the water.
Right.
I think that should just be a trump card.
What are some of your favorite on the water ballparks? I have some that I haven't actually been to yet. I think the only time with all the ballparks I've been to, the only time I can remember actively looking out at a body of water while we were watching the game was in San Francisco.
Yeah. Mine are all major league. So I think of Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, and San Francisco are the ones that, you could see water from. I know the rumor is you can see the lake from certain viewpoints at Wrigley Field, but I did not get that.
Right?
Yeah.
Quad Cities River Bandits, obviously that's good. I've not been there.
Yeah.
I have not been to Pensacola. The body of water just outside the Blue Wahoo's ballpark there is definitely one of the reasons I want to get there. So
Corpus Christi, I would like to get to.
I ran past there in November 2016.
Did you?
Went running.
Yeah.
Yep.
Missoula would be pretty cool to get out to. There's that little river there. I don't know if you call that waterfront, but
yeah, I saw a game in Missoula. I don't think I would have thought of that as as riverfront. So I'm Eric. The answer to this question is you can see the water. You can see more water than anything else while you're watching the game. Oh, Brooklyn Cyclones for me.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to see the Indios de Mayagüez. I saw a game in San Juan, but that wasn't near the water. Capco Park, north of Milwaukee.
Yeah, bonus points if it's the actual ocean too. I mean, that's
right.
That's even better, obviously.
So what would those be? I saw a game in Miami, but if there was the roof is closed. So, but I don't recall that you could see the water from where we were at the ballpark in Miami.
I don't think you can. Yeah.
It's the only time I've ever been to Miami. We drove to a game and then turned around and left.
I did the same thing, and I used to live in Florida. So
is that right?
Yeah.
Clear
water. Yeah. Clear water. That's right.
Water.
Yeah.
We are Dr. Pepper has water in the outfield.
That's true.
Yeah. Should be I don't know. Should be Dr. Pepper. All right. That was good. That was so we settled on our iconic minor league baseball logos. Anna, you missed at the end of the Earn Fun Average holiday spectacular. You missed the discussion on plans for next year. Did you know, or did you?
Nope, missed that. Yeah,
you missed that. So let's reprise that question then from the Earn Fun Average holiday spectacular. What are your plans for baseball that you know of already?
Yeah, I've got lots of ambitions. No firm dates yet outside of the Alaska trip.
Okay.
But I would like to get up to Nashville for, I believe it is tax weekend. I think there's a group of Twitter folk going up there to do a Nashville game.
Did you call it tax weekend?
Yeah, April 15th.
April 15th. All right.
Yeah.
Very good.
Um, planning on that. I would like to go to Swamp. Nice. Um, Wichita is on the list. I think that's just gonna be like a, "Hey, this weekend works. I'm gonna jump in the car and drive up there because
How
it's
long a
not."
drive is that?
I think it's 5 hours. It's not bad.
It's
So,
doable. Doable.
yeah, yeah.
Go stay at the Prophet
Right.
Shea Prophet.
Yeah. See if they might have me, but,
Yeah.
and then I'd like to get back out to I'm gonna go see my dad here in a few weeks. Obviously, no baseball to be found, but I would like to get back out to Carolina in the fall to do a couple of games with him at the minor league level. So,
Okay. We had a thing happen at work, which has been funny, where we had planned a work trip for April something something something. When the Arkansas Travelers were going to be in town to Little
mm,
Rock. We were going to Little Rock, and then our events manager, who Song, was just like, "Oh, the hotel wants us to come a little bit earlier because we've got some stuff we need to resolve, and so we have to do some stuff, so we need to do it in March." And I was just like, all right, fine. I'll miss my baseball game. That's fine or whatever. And we had one member of the committee who's like, oh, I'm actually going to be traveling for like January through March. And I'm like, Christy needs to be there. We got to have Christy there. So we'll see. We'll see if I can get to my
yeah.
Travelers game.
I
But
think you should push hard for it. I think
yeah,
you should. Yeah.
yeah, I'm
Yeah.
gonna try. I mean, I feel like I'd have some sway there now. I don't know.
Yeah. Maybe
Um,
maybe a little bit.
yeah. The problem is I should probably not be using that sway to orchestrate my own
And
attendance at
then
baseball
admitting
games.
it on,
Uh,
internet archived television here.
exactly. Yeah, if anyone wants my neck now, they can come get it.
That's right.
Um, so well,
Yeah.
that sounds so. It sounds like you've got obviously the Alaska trip's the big trip.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then Ranger Amy and I are still trying to figure out whether we're going to be doing the whole trip or just the ball game.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're gonna go raise hell there. Um, there's possibly Arkansas.
Mhm.
Oh, I go to University of Arkansas game. All right.
There you go.
And then we have, like I said, Baseball Palooza in the Pacific Northwest. I think the only new ballpark for me in that one would be Hillsboro.
Mm.
Right, Omaha. Jim, our friend James Christopher, is going to be doing his. He's getting a suite there for Let's Get To, and
Yeah.
that's about a 7-hour drive for me. So that might just be one of those ones where it's just like I'm gonna catch up on a bunch of podcasts because I'm just
Just
gonna
make it happen. Yeah.
drive out there to go hang out with James Christopher and crew in you know what's funny about the Storm Chasers is I was following their broadcaster for a while, and he and I had sort of interacted on Twitter a few times. You know what I'm about to say here, huh?
Yeah.
And I had, when I first started the Baseball by Design podcast, I reached out to him and I was just like, oh, hey, sometime I'd love to feature the Storm Chasers. Would you come on? And he's like, yeah, absolutely. And so, of course, now he just got promoted to Kansas City. He's going to be the Royals broadcaster. And I reached out to him like I seriously did not even know that had happened. And I reached out to him. I'm like, oh, hey, you ready to come on? I want to do a Storm Chasers episode. And he's just like, I'm probably not the person to talk to anymore about that. But if you're ever in Kansas City, look me up. And I'm like, son of a. So
How cool though that they actually promoted him from
yeah,
within the organization. That's pretty cool.
I think it's very cool.
Yeah.
So, Baltimore, Pittsburgh, Philly, Lehigh Valley, Jersey Shore, Yankees, Yard Goats, Red Sox, and Sea Dogs.
These are all on the books for the Prophet brothers or
Yeah.
Eric and Zach. Who are we talking about?
Yeah. Is
All
that
work.
one trip, Eric? I mean, that would be God.
Yeah.
It sounds like an amazing trip.
Yeah.
What is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's see. Of those, I have been to Baltimore, Philly, Lehigh Valley, Jersey Shore. I guess I can't count the Yankees. Red Sox and Sea Dogs. So I've not been to Pittsburgh, the new Yankees, and the Yard Goats and the Red Sox. Oh no, I've been to the Red Sox. So that's a pretty sweet trip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Junior edition with Zach. Nice.
Junior edition. I hear that new ballpark in Beloit is supposed to be real nice. Mark is I plane trip to DFW for a few new stadiums. The DFW Double Down.
Oh, what a
Uh,
great name. I feel like, it's very Texas. I like it, you know?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Sounds like a dance step.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah. All right, we're gonna, we'll all get our big buckles and our big hats and our pointy boots.
Or like Texas Hold'em, you know, I'm
Oh yeah.
doubling down, you know?
Uh-huh,
Just
uh-huh,
it
uh-huh.
plays so many different ways.
Um, Zach and Mark. Zach and Mark now. So now we just have like a Craigslist missed connections going on in our.
I saw you
Oh
on the
man.
subway. We're headed to Yankee Stadium.
You had a notepad in your hand and you were taking notes about the baseball stadium.
Oh,
Yeah, that's funny. So, all right. So, similar question. Someone who is not familiar with the world of minor league baseball, and maybe they're new to the country, and you want to introduce them to the sport of minor league baseball by taking them to a ball game. What ballpark do you take them to?
ah. I mean, I'm always gonna say Durham.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
That would be interesting to see, I mean, because I think that we have such reverence for Durham, right? Because it's an iconic
yeah.
brand. They made the movie out of it, etc. I wonder if it would have that same cachet with someone who, doesn't know that story.
Right. Maybe, maybe not. I think, one that I've heard really good things about, I've not been to is Reading. I do think that, that a lot of folks have told me that that's kind of the old nostalgic feel, which I love about minor league baseball. It's not,
Yeah.
you uh, state of the art ballparks and things like that.
Yeah. Reading is kind of the Fenway / Wrigley of
Mhm.
minor league parks, right? Like it's
Yeah.
definitely old school. I've been there one time. It was April and it was pretty cold. Um, but it was still a good ballpark. And I remember my kids were little, and one of the ball players threw threw a baseball directly to Olivia, who at that time was like, I don't know, like 6 or 7, right? She was pretty little, and it like bounced off her hands because she can't catch, and went to my niece Sabrina, and I remember just being like, sure, like that wasn't for you, Sabrina. I've never been to Toledo. I would like to get to a Toledo Mud Hens game. I got to figure out how to make that happen.
Yeah, I've heard good things. Have yet to be there either, but heard good things.
Durham, Reading, and St. Paul, all great, all great. How much fun did we have in St. Paul? Like that was,
Yeah.
I was just like goofy, delirious, like how like the amount of fun we were having at
Yeah.
that baseball game.
Same. A
I
long
remember,
day, a lot of fun, a lot of sugar that probably had something to
yes,
do with the
yeah, a lot of
delirium, but
sugar, a lot of sugar. It was, yeah, but I remember like in the 8th inning of the second game of that day, realizing like, oh no, like
it's
this game's
almost
gonna
over.
end, and
Yeah.
like, and then it's back to the hotel and like a short night of sleep and a flight back to Colorado, and I was just like, I didn't want it to end,
Yeah,
and
same.
I was like, okay, well, this is now because didn't the first game go extras? Didn't we see extra? No, we didn't, did we?
It didn't, but it took
It
forever.
was it
Like,
was a long game, yeah,
yeah, right,
yeah,
right.
right, because we didn't have as much time between games. We were
'Cause
all
we
we were all
thought
gonna go
yeah,
get Juicy Lucy's,
right.
and
We were worried about having too much time between the games, and then we
right,
ended up kind of going, a mad dash to get to
yeah,
St. Paul in time.
yeah, yeah. We had to like send people ahead to park the car,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Um, but I remember like when it got late in that second game, just getting like all nostalgic, right? Like for these
Mhm.
people who we had just spent this very intense day with.
Yeah.
And now it's coming up. We did the Twin Cities twin billing, and now we got the DFW double down coming. So we'll do it all over again. So I guess the next order of business here is to find a weekend when Frisco, Cleburne, and the Rangers are all in town.
Yeah, I'm less worried about the Rangers, but I do understand that if folks are gonna make a trip down here that, perhaps they would like to cross off all 3 of those, so at
Hmm.
least having the option would be a good idea, so
Yeah. If,
but yeah,
if
it's
that could be,
doable. It happens a lot.
yeah.
Yeah.
If that could be made to happen in May,
Mhm.
I think that's probably better than letting it get too late in the season because then it starts getting hot. in Texas.
Yeah. Yeah. May
Um,
is still relatively pleasant
Now I
usually.
do have one potential conflict there because I have to go. I'm making a work trip. They're sending me to Costa Rica.
That's so
So,
hard. What
yeah.
a rough life you live.
Why do bad things always happen to me? What if I missed the DFW double down? um, I think another sort of iconic ballpark that I might send someone to. I think that okay. I'm going to expand this question, and I may have asked a version of this previously. I think I have, but I like the question, so I'm going to go ahead and ask it again. What level of baseball do you
Hmm.
take someone to? I will say hello to Mark's dad in Costa Rica. What level of baseball do you take someone who has never seen a baseball game to?
I do feel like we've asked this question before, and I think
I
I
think we
said
have.
double A was my choice
I think
because
that's
it
a good
was
answer.
yeah, it's the, it seems to be that plateau where people either where players either, make a run at it or just indefinitely stay a minor leaguer.
Mhm. Yeah, I would say AAA,
Okay.
just because I think you're more likely to get sort of a high quality. It's like AAA to me is like sort of a pseudo. Everyone agrees with you. Uh, but a good collegiate summer park. I think the level of play. I mean, double A play is really a high level of play. Um, I don't know, but the AAA ballparks to me sort of are you know
Yeah.
that's sort of a signature experience right there. Is that like I think of like the Durham and Albuquerque and St. Paul, right? Like those are all
Yeah.
just like such good ballparks. So not to say there are not good double A ballparks, like Wichita, for instance,
Frisco. Frisco.
Frisco. Yeah, yeah.
Frisco.
Though
Yeah.
everyone knows, as Eric Prophet would tell you, Wichita was intended to be a AAA ballpark.
Yes, right. Um, don't forget Corpus Christi either.
Oh
That's a double A park. That's pretty nice. So there's a few
yeah,
that squeaks in there.
yeah. No, it's true.
Yeah.
It's true. And there's some real nice high A ballparks, right? Like the
Mhm.
Wilmington Blue Rocks play in a really great ballpark. Did I? Is Wilmington part of this Prophet Palooza? Because that would be a great.
I don't think I saw it, but I could have missed it.
Hey, I missed this comment here. They're doing Tacoma, Seattle, Aqua Sox, Portland Pickles, Hops, and Dust Devils.
Nice.
Um, I scroll. Here you go. See this one, Eric. If you could find a way to fit the Wilmington Blue Rocks in there, in case you haven't seen enough baseball on that trip. Um, so I used to do this during the off season. Like if I traveled for work during the off season, I would just like call up the media guy from the local minor league ballpark and just be like, "Can I just come like walk around a little bit?" I met some great people that way. Like made some really great contacts just by like showing up at minor league ballparks and introducing myself. And
That's cool. Yeah.
yeah,
I forget what it was, but Charles Dennis was telling me about a ballpark that is I guess the local hospital kind of partnered on it, so they designed the concourse as like a health and fitness walk, so
yeah,
that you could walk X amount of miles and that they leave it open all year round. So, they've designed it so that the concourse can remain open, but you can go into the park and use it as a walking trail.
that's very cool. I
Yeah,
like
I
that a
love that.
lot. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's really cool.
Yeah, I wish I could remember which team it was, but it's escaping me.
Yeah, that's really neat. Um, is that Fort Wayne?
I
I don't
don't
know.
think it was Fort Wayne. That's not ringing
Oh,
any bells.
Pat Larson says Kannapolis.
That might be it, I think, actually.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's cool.
Yeah.
The other thing, the Wilmington Blue Rocks, they've got a Chickies and Pete's there. You go get some crab fries with some.
Well, Fort
Oh,
Wayne do it too then. So, multiple parks. I
yeah.
like this. It should catch on. Yeah.
All right. So
That's neat.
Kannapolis, and Fort Wayne. Fort Wayne was a great addition to the Baseball Palooza trip last year. How's it going? That was one where we were tracking the entire time there. It looked like we might get rained out, and the whole day we're
Mm.
just like tracking the weather. And a couple of times, like on the drive from Columbus to Fort Wayne, it was we were driving, watching and watching and watching. And the sky's just like, and every once in a while, the sky would just like completely just open up on us and drench us. We stopped to play mini golf for $2 a piece at like some like local like civic park in the middle of nowhere. They had this mini golf course, and so we're like, okay, why not? And then like we're all on like hole 17, and the skies open up on us, and so we finished up in the pouring rain. And then we got there, and it ended up being like a beautiful night. We actually were going to have Patrick Newt from baseballmapper.com come join us, but the forecast was so sketchy, he didn't want to drive 5 hours just to get rained out, and so he didn't come. And then it ended up being a beautiful evening.
Yeah. I've had nights like that where the forecast literally says 100% chance of rain, and then, nothing ever happens with it. But now that Bonnie's chiming in, I do remember it was Columbia. That was exactly the park that Charles was telling me about, so.
Okay. All right. The Masons Jingle 5K this Saturday.
Very cool.
Yeah. So my family likes to run the Turkey Trot 5K. And I was in a relationship with an African-American woman for 4 years. And she used to like to say to me, she had seen it somewhere like on a meme or something. And she says, there are two kinds of families that do 5Ks together on Thanksgiving, and Black families.
I know, like, the running thing, I just, unless something is chasing me, it's not for me.
I was running this morning. It was 28 degrees, dark at 5:45, windy. Me and my buddy Chris we ran 6 miles.
No.
And then the whole time it was a little bit like I could have been in bed. I could have been in bed.
Yep.
Yeah. So, but of course I'm about to go eat a helmet sundae full of ice cream after this, and I don't think I'd be able to get away with that if it were not for my wife's family would never do a 5K. Absolutely, Patrick is my new my favorite CW sitcom.
Right.
Is CW still around? I don't even know if that's a thing anymore.
Maybe. I don't know. It's a good early 2000s. Yeah. See, if someone forces you to run, I get it. Like, I understand that, but the choosing to do it and I don't know, especially waking up early to find the time, nah, not for me.
The waking up early is the killer.
Yeah.
There was a time I was like, I think like legitimately addicted to running. Like I think I actually like was legit addicted to it. I did 4 full marathons in 2 years.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I weighed about 20 pounds less than what I weigh right now.
When I was in college, my biology lab partner was on the cross country team, and I just remember like trying to understand what runner's high was. Like, she was trying to explain it to me.
Yeah.
And I was like, I've been an athlete my entire life. I have never once experienced what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Ever.
I don't think I've experienced it. Like people ask me about it. They're like, "Oh, do you get runner's high?" And like, certainly not now. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't know if I experienced it like at the height of my running days, but like I do very rarely. There were very few occasions where I would just be cruising along and I would just be like, "This feels so good. I could go forever." Like I almost like every time I run, I kind of want it to be over, right? Like
Yeah.
that's sort of like I just want to get far enough to like be done and then be done.
Yeah.
I'm also not built like a distance runner, right? Like I'm a little shorter and a little stockier than most distance runners are. And so yeah, I was a subpar distance runner in high school. I was on the cross country team, and I ran, and all my friends were on cross country, so I ran cross country with them. And then yeah, Mark, so I was on the cross country team, and like all my friends were there, and so I would do distance, even though I wasn't any good, and I never placed in any important way in any of the meets or whatever. And I remember in the springtime, I would run track, and they, I would do the 1 mile and the 2 mile, and I would never do anything interesting in them. And then one time, they had I guess their lead sprinter was out, and so there was just like an empty spot in the 100 and the 200. And they were like, "Paul, like, don't run the 1 mile and the 2 mile, just run the 100 and the 200." I'm like, that's like 30 seconds total of running. Like, what am I supposed to do with that? And they were like, "Well, you never place in the distance events, and we have these like empty spots." And so they put me, and here's me with like my thick, like, like Popeye legs here. And they're like, just sprint just today. Okay. And I was like, fine. And then they're like, then you can get back to being a bad distance runner. And I won both of the events.
Uh,
And they're like, okay, now, and this is like halfway through my senior year. They're like, well, this is stupid that we're just figuring this out now, but now you're a sprinter. And like, I had absolutely no interest in being a sprinter. I was just like, this is terrible. Like, all my friends are over there running distance. And so I remember we used to make fun of the sprinters' workouts because they were like so short. They were always done so much or
yeah,
before, sooner before we were. So
right.
anyway, I don't know how we got talking about that, but
Well, I think we were talking about walking around ballpark concourses, and somehow it segued into running.
right. And
Yeah,
it was Donnie was talking about the Jingle Balls 5K or
that's
whatever.
what it was, yes, the
Yeah.
5K, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So
there was a clear thought process
there
there.
was there's a
Yeah,
straight line. It's a
yeah,
straight line. Okay. All right, that's fair.
yeah.
Um Anna, with 4 minutes here to go till the
Mhm.
top of the hour, I guess the main question is like, how bad do you think we need Ed for this thing? Turns out not that bad, huh?
I'm very impressed with ourselves that we were able to get this on the air.
Right.
Yeah, everything went swimmingly, so I
Good.
miss Ed's personality and the laughing, and, he brings a lot to just hanging out. I like that
It's
guy, so,
it's true. I hope he's well. We
yeah,
didn't really get a full explanation of
uh,
Ed who. Exactly. Um so yeah, he texted and he was just like ate some bad Cheetos and don't foresee good things for the next hour. So
I think he was trying out the, Dr. Pepper ballpark theory in his own bathtub, and it did not go well,
In his own
so
bathtub. The hockey podcast guy. That guy, right? Uh, Ed, if you're secretly listening, we love you, buddy. Hope you're okay.
Yes.
Who do you have coming up on your podcast here?
This is fun. This is tomorrow's show is with Jeremy Conman, who is, he lives out near, our buddy Pat there. He lives in Decatur, Georgia, and he runs a trivia company. So, we got his backstory about baseball, lots of good stories, and then towards the end of the episode, I play a little trivia with him. So,
Very
yeah.
nice. All right.
What about you?
I have so this week I have so I next week I have the Salt Lake Bees
With our buddy Zach.
with Zach Beeson,
Yeah.
and we'll have we will have another appearance from Ranger Amy, and then their broadcaster Steve Klauke, who was kind of grumpy. It was kind of funny actually to talk to him. Pat Larson's Memphis Redbirds
Yeah.
video. I have to finish watching part 2. But man, what a great logo that is, and how much fun like watching Pat feature those hats. Like that's a great one.
Every time I'm amazed at how many he has, like, he just keeps pulling them, and I'm in shock every time.
I will say, by the way, for anyone who listened to my Fred Nats episode this week, it was it was kind of funny because I kept saying more times than I realized. I kept saying Martha when I meant Mary. We were talking about George Washington's mom, not his wife, and I kept saying Martha. So like the number of times that I had to go in and like edit that conversation to make it sound like I had said Mary instead of Martha. It got really annoying. I was like, Paul, you idiot. And it's like I didn't even realize it until afterwards.
Is it like one of those times where your voice is in, like, one certain tone and you're
Yeah.
talking like
Yeah.
this, and then you're just like,
Yeah.
"Martha."
Right. Yeah. Yeah. They've got a great logo set with George Washington swinging an axe and his mother, Mary.
Yeah.
Uh, wow. Zach is coming at me for doing a Fred Nats episode. So, I did the Fred Nats and I did the Woo Sox. Entirely because both of them had fun logos with fun stories. The Woo Sox have the Harvey Ball smiley face logo, and then of course the Fred Nats have George and Mary Washington. So but it's true. Both of them are technically named for their parent clubs, so it's a violation of my own principles.
That's right, but rules are meant to be bent, I suppose, right? So
Rules are meant to be bent. So absolutely. So, well, Anna, this has been a lot of fun. Thank you to everyone who's been in the comments. It's always, I mean, this is nothing without everyone chattering away in the podcast or in the
yeah.
comments. It makes it sound like it's just so much fun to hang out with all of our friends here. So we're glad you're here. Thank you for that. Go check out all the Curve Brim Media gang, and check out the other podcast, the Earn Fun Average, Mark Viquez's Ballpark Hunter, Pat Larson's minor league baseball hat history. It's it's a great community out there, and it's really fun.
Certainly.
So thanks for
Definitely.
being part of it. I've got top of the hour, 8:00 here in the fictional Mountain Time Zone.
Go get your ice cream helmet.
I am about to go get myself an ice cream helmet. We'll see you later, everybody.
Bye, y'all.